In the last video, we have covered the topic integer. In that, we saw principle of mathematical induction, binomial theorem, and how to construct a Pascal triangle. In today's video, we will move to our new topic, that is divisibility in Z. The topic which I will cover in this topic are: first, we will cover definition and properties. Second, we cover division algorithm. Third, greatest common divisor, that is GCD. Fourth is our Euclid's lemma. Then I will cover Euclidean algorithm. Then LCM. And last but not the least, fundamental theorem of arithmetic. What do you mean by divisibility? Divisibility is nothing but division. Suppose I give you two numbers, 3 and 24. Okay. Suppose I gave you an example, 3 and 24. What you can say about these two numbers? What is the relation between these two numbers? The relation between these two numbers is 3 divides 24, or 24 is divisible by 3. This is our main statement. Okay, so how we write in a mathematical form? Suppose our B is 24 is our B and 3 is our A. So how you will write 24? We can write 24 as 8 into 3. So 24 is B, 8 is our C, and 3 is our A. So in a mathematical form, how you will write it? That is B equal to AC. In a lower class, we studied about dividend, divisor, quotient, and remainder. Okay, that is what we are going to use here. Now we see the definition of divisor. Okay, when we say an integer is said to be a divisor of integer B if there exists an integer C such that B equal to A into C. Okay, let us move ahead with the results. What result says? First result is A divides A. Suppose I take an example of A equal to 3. So 3 divides 3 as well. Okay, so from that we get A divides A. Okay, the second one is 1 divides A. 1, if you take any number, that number is divides 1. Okay, or 1 is divides that number. Okay, if I took 2, so 1 divides 2, 2 ones are 2, so we get 1 as well. Okay, now third property is A divides 0. Okay, A divides 0 means A into 0 is equal to 0. Okay, if you take any number, suppose I took 3 or I took 5, so 5 divides 0. Okay, fourth property is A divides B if and only if A divides minus B minus A divides B and A minus A divides minus B. Suppose I took an example of 2 divides 3 means 2 divides minus 3 minus 2 divides 3 and minus 2 divides minus 3. Okay, this is what we get. Our fifth property is AB belongs to C. B is not equal to 0 if A divides B, then if you take their mod, that is less than or equal to mod of B. Okay, we have here some proof of that result. Suppose we have given that A divides B, so we write A divides B, which implies from the definition an integer this, okay, b divides ac, we write here a divides b means b equal to ac. Now since b is not equal to 0, therefore c is not equal to 0. Therefore 1 is less than or equal to mod of c. Why? Because 1 is the least element of z. If you saw my previous videos on the integers, there we saw 1 is the least element of our z, that is integer set. Now we multiply here by mod of a. What we get? Mod of a is less than or equal to a mod of a into mod of c is equal to mod of ac, which is ac is what? Our b. Okay, so that's why we write here mod of b, and the result we get, what the result is? Mod of a is less than or equal to mod of b. Hence we proved. Let's move on to another properties. You have to keep in mind these properties because when we solve the sums, we use these properties. Okay, so always remember this. Now sixth property is a into b is equal to 1, then a is equal to plus or minus 1, or b is equal to plus or minus 1. Okay, seventh property is a divides 1, then a is equal to plus or minus 1. Our eighth property is if a divides b and b divides a, then from these conditions we say a is equal to b. Okay, but in divisibility we write plus or minus b. Okay, our next property, if a, b, c are integers and if a divides b, b divides c, then ultimately what we write? A divides c. Our last property is if a divides b, then a divide b into c. Okay, here we have one more property, that is if a divides b and a divides c, then if I took a plus or minus b, that also divisible by a. Okay, we have proof here. We have given a divide b means from the definition of divisor we write b is equal to a into k. Okay, and a divides c means we write c, this c is equal to this number into t. Okay, now what we write? We take the addition of these two numbers, so b plus or minus c is equal to this ak plus or minus 18. So here we took a common, k plus or minus t, which is what we got? b plus or minus c is equal to a into k plus or minus t. Okay, so we write a divides b plus or minus c. Hence we have to prove this and we get this result. So proved. Now we have here one more definition, that is composite and prime number. When you say prime number, an integer which has only two divisors, that plus or minus 1 or that number itself, means I gave you 2, then I can say plus or minus 1 and 2 are the prime numbers. Okay, means 2 is the prime number. What can I say? 4 is a prime number? No, because 4 is also divisible by 2, so 4 is not a prime number. Okay, and what is composite? The opposite. Okay, opposite of prime number means which integer are not prime is called a composite numbers. Means just now we see 4 is not a prime number, so 4 is a composite number. Okay, now our first topic is done, that is definition and properties. Now we have theorem, division algorithm in Z. Okay, in a lower class we studied this theorem, now we prove this. Okay, so what is division algorithm? Let us see the statement. Let a and b are two integers with b is greater than 0, then there exists a unique integer q and r such that a is equal to bq plus r, where r is between 0 and b. Okay, now let me give you an example so that you will understand it better. I took 3 and 24. 24 is our b a and 3 is our b. So we write 24 is equal to 3 into 8 plus 0. 0 is our remainder. Okay, then 3 is our divisor, 8 is our quotient, and 24 is our dividend. Okay, so from that we write dividend is equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Okay, so here a is equal to bq plus r. Okay, this is what we write. We prove this theorem in two steps. First step is existence of integer, that is q and r. Okay, and the second step is uniqueness of these two integers. Okay, in a textbook they have given different method and I use different method. In the textbook they have took S is a non-empty set, means they proved S is a non-empty set, and after that by well ordering principle they proved the rest of the theorem. Okay, here I took two steps, that is existence of integer q and r, and second step is uniqueness of q and r. Okay, so first we see the step 1, that is existence of integer q and r. Okay, now see here, first what we do is we consider an infinite sequence of multiple of b. Okay, let me take an example. You have to write it. Take a pen and paper so that you will understand it better when I explain. Suppose I took an infinite series multiple of 2. Okay, so how I will write that? Suppose this is your real line. Here is 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. Here for the left side we write 2, minus 2, minus 4, minus 6, minus 8 and so on. Now suppose I took 8. Okay, I took 8. How I will write this? 2 into 4. So this is a multiple of 2, right? So now see the next sentence, that is either a must be equal to one of the multiple of b, say bq, or a must be between two consecutive multiple of b, say bq and bq plus 1. Okay, so see here we take a as 8 Okay, this is our A. Okay, and 8 is in the form, 2 is our what, B, and 4 is our Q. So A is in the form of BQ. Okay, so first sentence is done. Okay, now let us move on to the second sentence, that is A must be between two consecutive multiple of B, say BQ and BQ plus 1. So here I have 10. Okay, so when I get 10, if I increase this number Q by 1, and suppose I add here 1, means what I write, A is equal to BQ plus 1. 8 is between this BQ and BQ plus 1, means our 8 is between 8 and 10. Okay, this is the meaning of our second sentence. Okay, from this what we write, BQ, our A is between BQ, okay, and means our A is equal to BQ or it is less than BQ. Okay, so here we write less than or equal to sign, and it is strictly less than BQ plus 1. Okay, it is not equal to, because 8 is not equal to 10, it is strictly less than 10. So that's why here we write less than sign. Okay, so this is the inequality we got. So what we do, we subtract BQ from all of these. Okay, so what we get, BQ minus BQ is our 0, A minus BQ we write as it is, and here what we write, minus BQ, BQ minus BQ is 0. Okay, so here we only get B, so this is, for this we write 1. Okay, now we substitute this A minus BQ is equal to R. Okay, so we put A minus BQ is equal to R, we substitute R equal to this value in this equation only, so we get R is our what, A minus BQ. So A is equal to BQ, I shift this BQ to right hand side, so I get BQ plus R is what, A minus BQ, so A minus BQ. So from this what we write, here is R, so we get A equal to BQ plus R. So ultimately we prove the theorem. Okay, from this we got the result what we have to prove. Okay, so our first step is over. So we prove the existence of Q and R. So Q and R is exist. Now the step 2 is uniqueness of Q and R. So we have to prove Q and R is unique. Okay, we prove this step by using contradiction. Okay, so for this what we write, suppose the integer Q and R are not unique, therefore there exists another pair of integer Q1 and R1 such that we write A is equal to BQ1 plus R1, where R1 is between 0 to B. Main result, that is A equal to BQ plus R, where R is between 0 to B. So we write the number 1, and for this equation we write 2. So from 1 minus 2 we subtract 1 minus 2, so A minus A is 0, BQ1 minus BQ, so we take B common, Q1 minus Q plus R1 minus R. Okay, this is what we get. So which implies, so we shift this r1 minus r to that side, so we get r. So here we have minus sign, so if I shift this that side, so this become plus and this become minus, so r minus r1 is equal to our this b into q1 minus q, so which implies this b divides r minus r1, which is a contradiction. Why we get this contradiction? Because r and r1 are positive and which is less than b, which is not greater than b, so that's why we get the contradiction, and hence the integer what we get are unique. I hope you understand this theorem. That's it for today's video. In the next video we will take some example based on division algorithm, okay, and we'll take another 2 units, not 2 units, we take 2 topics from this unit, okay. That's all I want to share with you today. I hope you understand it and practice it at your home. Write down by yourself. Thank you.